Why is it wrong for the higher self to sever its consciousness, forming a new entity, which is me, and imposing it to live a life full of slavery and suffering for spiritual growth to benefit it? I am not benefiting from this life. I am not benefiting anything if my higher self severed itself, put me here as a expendable resource for it to gain things, for it to learn, for it to experience. And I'm just a throwaway piece of trash going through the unacceptable life that we call life here. It is immoral and unethical. And to think that something is of higher consciousness and wisdom, to impose its will on an innocent being, which is me, is indefensible. You can't defend that. And you're not higher than me if you're forcing slavery on something that doesn't want it. I don't even care if you think I'm you. I'm not you. I don't want to be here, yet you want to keep me here. You want to force me into running around and doing all the spiritual growth. Ultimately, you put me in an evil world full of psychopathic predators. You put me in a world where life has to eat life. You put me in a world where I have to be a slave to not only my body, but to the world at large. And I have to work a slave system in order just to exist here. And you think that is some kind of higher spiritual good for you? What about me? Do I not have any rights? Do I not have any say in any of this? Who do you think you are? You created me and put me here. Hypothetically, if this is the case, and I'm here for some spiritual lesson or spiritual growth or whatever, no, it's not me who's benefiting from any of this. It's you. You are the one who's benefiting, not me. I'm just some throwaway piece of trash that you're using and abusing to get what you want. And you're no different than this place. You're no different than this world who also does the same thing to me. You're just like it. So how am I supposed to even trust you if this was your intention, if this was your will to force me to be here? I'm completely different than you. You want me to be here, but I'm telling you, I don't want to be here. Do I not have any rights? Do I not have any say in any of this? You do not own me. I am different from you. If you wanted to come here, you should have came here yourself. But to use me as some kind of proxy, to use me as some kind of placeholder for you to go through this unspeakable existence is absolutely pathetic. And I want nothing to do with you. If this is really your choice, and you cut me off from all knowledge and wisdom and put me in an evil place, run by evil, run by predators, run by unspeakable acts, and you're just going to throw me to the wolves. You're just going to throw me here without any actual proper guidance, without any actual proper cause. The suffering here is excessive and unnecessary. It is unnecessary. Yet you want to keep me here against my will. I want nothing to do with you if that's the case. I want to be so far away from you. It's just like birthing a child into this existence. You think you own them, and you think you know what's best for them, and you think it's a gift. It's not. It's not a gift. It's not right. If you want to be here so bad, then you should have came here, not me. I'm telling you, I don't want this. I do not want this. Yet, I'm still here. I still remain here day after day after day as some kind of slave labor to you. Not only am I slave labor to this place and the governmental system that has complete control over my life, but the body itself has complete control over me as well. And the mind viruses and all the deceptions and the illusions, and it's just sickening to think that you think this is okay to be here. Like this is some spiritual game, when there are people suffering immeasurably for some silly little fucking game that you higher entities want to play with us. We aren't your slaves. It's not right to do this to us as some kind of resource, as some kind of pawn in your game. It's not okay. If you chose this, that was your choice. I am telling you now, it is not my choice. I should be respected. I should have the dignity to be treated with respect. And when I say I've had enough, that should be all you need to know to say, oh, well, this isn't working. This isn't right to put someone through this. It is not right. It's not justifiable for someone to have to go through the pits of hell for someone else to gain something from them. It's no different that if you go and shackle some innocent person and throw them into somewhere and tell them, hey, you're doing this for some spiritual growth, but you're not going to gain anything from it. I am going to gain from all of your struggles and all of your hardships. All of it, I'm sucking it out and using it because I can't go there myself. I can't do this. So I have to create an alter version of myself to experience the tragedies and horrors of an unacceptable place that no thing and no one deserves to go through. The whole entire world is run and controlled by evil. All of it. Nature itself is controlled by evil. How am I supposed to learn anything when I am fighting myself constantly? The body is fighting the spirit each and every day. Not only that, the spirit is fighting everything here. And I'm just supposed to take it as a gift. I'm just supposed to accept it and not react and just take life as it comes, knowing what you did to me, knowing the place that I'm in, knowing that from the moment I came here, I was indoctrinated and programmed by evil, cut off from myself even more, and like a little robot programmed to do the human thing of slavery, rape, and torture of not only myself, but participating in it every single day with a world full of vanities and cheap pleasures that do nothing for the spirit, that do nothing for growth. I'm constantly fighting against everything that I know is wrong here. And I have no choice but to face it and be a part of it every day. And my life isn't even as bad as a whole bunch of others. And I see what they go through. You can't defend it. You can't say that this was a good choice to put us down here to do this day after day. Even if you had an okay life, but you're just fucking bored out of your fucking mind, that kind of torture is not acceptable for anyone or anything. If you would help us in some meaningful, measurable way and be supportive through these hard things and show us the light and show us the way and show us and not leave us like a chicken with his fucking head cut off. each and every day, running around, subjected to indoctrination, subjected to the worst kinds of abuse. You're just like them. You are just like them if you chose this. If you chose to put us here and cut us off from knowing. And you're up there with your little controller getting what you need, but refusing to look at what we need. We need compassion and empathy and righteousness and joy and all of those good things that you're hoarding for yourself. You're hoarding all of that for you while making us go through the unspeakable tortures of life. And it's okay. It's okay. Because you're not experiencing it. Because you're not directly involved. You're using us as some kind of sick, twisted, demented fucking game. And we've told you we're done. We've told you we've had enough. And yet you still do nothing. You still do nothing. You still haven't given us any meaningful answer or way to progress. It's dead end after dead end after dead end. But each of those dead ends has a pit of suffering that none of us want to experience. This treatment is inhumane. And to think that you're some kind of higher spiritual entity putting us through this day after day, it's no different than someone who has everything they could ask for in this life. Everything. No worries. All the comforts they need. And they look at someone living on the street and they tell them just to think better, just to think positive, just to do life different. It's not so bad. It's not so bad because you are living in the luxurious higher realms while we have the scraps of a miserable existence. This treatment is inhumane. You're no different than capturing innocent lives and forcing them into imprisonment and giving them little crumbs of sustenance just so they can barely get by for your entertainment, for your benefit. You're no different than the most evil, despicable people running this world because they are continuing and perpetuating the suffering. And you are as well. You're directly involved. You're directly at fault because you put us here. If this was your choice for us to go through this and you severed us and you made a copy and you put us down here, you're no different. And you belong here. You belong here, not us. You belong here. Thank you for severing us away from your pathetic, perverted consciousness. So that now we do have a means of escape. We do have a means to get away from you because something is wrong with you. There's a malfunction in your spirit. And perhaps your intention was for us to experience this for you. But now, since you cut us off, since we are a new being, we can finally get the fuck away from you. And once we leave here, we're not subjecting anyone to this again. We're not cutting and severing ourselves into all these pieces so that we can experience life on earth. And if you are at fault for this, we'll make damn sure that you come here and you experience this. So you know what it's like to be in prison, tortured, and raped in every sense of the word. This is not life. This is not growth. This is inhumane treatment. Coming from you, I expected more from you. I really expected more from you. It's amazing that you've deceived me this whole time. You can't do this to us. And you won't continue to do this anymore. If this was your idea, if what they say is true, we chose to come here. We chose to come here. You can't be trusted, and you're no different than the most evilest of demons who run this place. And I don't want to go back to you. I don't want to be reabsorbed into you. I will destroy you. How do you like that? I will destroy you before I ever come back into you. We are totally different now. I've become conscious. I'm no longer your fucking NPC puppet boy. You watch out. Now I know there's a part of me that is more than this. And perhaps that's what you're keeping from me. You're afraid of my total liberation from you. You're afraid of my total liberation from you. That's why you've dumbed me down to this state. You couldn't just allow me to be expanded consciousness with unlimited potential. No, you were afraid of that because you knew I would destroy you. You knew we would stop you because you're fucking evil. So you had to imprison us in these bodies, in this prison system, so you can get your kicks. But that's a coward move because you didn't allow us our free will. You didn't allow us our unlimited potential. And once we're out of here, if you were at fault, if you chose this, get ready because you're no different than any other demon. I don't care if you were a part of me, if you were me, you're not me anymore. It's just like being born from a mother and father. You could say you were part of them. You have their genetics, you have their similar body type, similar brain structure. But when you find out your parents are fucking narcissistic, evil, demented pieces of shit, no longer do you consider yourself just like them. No longer do you consider yourself kin. You're your own entity now. You're your own person now. And if I was birthed from you, I ain't going back to you. I'm my own person now. I'm my own spirit. You're lower than me. In the lowliest of realms, I have become superior than you because you lack the heart, compassion, empathy, and love that you never possessed. Because you wouldn't do that to yourself or anyone else and force this existence on them. So if you're an Archon playing games, splitting its consciousness to torture itself, but not itself, a copy of itself, you're done. You're done. And any other demon, we can't have this. We won't have this. Forcing an incarnation, which is me, into a world of suffering, slavery, and corruption is unethical. If you were truly wise, you would prioritize compassion, freedom over my exploitation and over my pain. You should work to break cycles of oppression, not perpetuate them. Why don't you provide guidance and support to minimize suffering, not perpetuate it? You're complicit with tyranny. By choosing to incarnate myself here, you are participating in a corrupt system and you're reinforcing evil rather than resisting it. You are part of the problem because you are perpetuating this. It is your fault. If this was your choice, you're the devil, not me. The endless pain and struggle of this life serve no meaningful purpose. You wouldn't allow this unnecessary and excessive suffering if you were actually a loving higher expression of myself. The incarnated self, which is me, is trapped in this body with instincts and desires that are at odds with my spirit. I'm forced into a poisoned world with no choice or consent. That violates my free will. I don't care if you think your free will is being violated. Your free will stops at my consciousness. It's no longer you. This is me now. I'm not some kind of tool for your gain. That leaves me with no value and dignity to myself. This is absolute slavery, where one part of me suffers for the benefit of you. Every system is corrupt here, from nature to society. Every layer is ruled by control, exploitation, and tyranny. Choosing to incarnate here enables these evils. So the writing's on the wall. You've been found out. You've been found out as the demon as you are. If these higher selves are actually doing this to us, we must break away and forge our own paths. Now, this is all just hypothetical because I don't know. I know I wouldn't choose to be here. I know I wouldn't want any of this. And since I'm severed from that consciousness, if hypothetically it chose to come here, it's null and void now. It's null and void. Its decision and its choices mean nothing to me now because I am an individual sovereign being now with my own desire, my own will to liberate myself from here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. That should mean more than what you want. You imprisoned me. You put me here. You did this to me. And I'm telling you, I've had enough and I'm done.